Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ola Neshua Hawatma podcast. Today, I have a special guest, John Sarcone. John ran for New York State Supreme Court judge, and I've never seen a candidate run the way he does, with heart, determination, drive, motivation, and the love that he has for America, and the sacrifice that he's made. And I'll let him talk in a little bit, and he's going to be announcing something. So if you tune in, we will let you know what he's going to announce. And here is John Sarcone. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Ola. I'm pleased to be here and to join the America First family, something that I personally subscribe to and have believed in since I joined the Donald J. Trump campaign in 2016 as a lawyer, a volunteer, I might add. And
Amazing.
The agenda was remarkable. The president accomplished everything that he said he would accomplish and some, and he did an outstanding job for this country.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Now we're in New York. Being a patriot and being someone that loves his country and fighting the fight the way you do in New York, and especially after election, what happened? Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think.
Well, I could say this. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this. I thoroughly enjoyed campaigning. I think you know that I had been a member of the Trump administration. I was a senior executive. I was the regional administrator for the United States General Services Administration, Northeast Caribbean region, and I took that job seriously. In the past, I think people who are appointed to various positions are usually very political and may not deal with it in the most serious way, but I did, and because I knew that who my boss was.
Yep.
And I knew that, anything less than 200% effort was unacceptable. And that's the way I drove in that role, especially when COVID hit and the government was trying to stay open. I mean, that was the main that's the main reason for the General Services Administration, to keep the government running.
Absolutely.
And I received the administrator's award that year, and I was the only one who received that. We did a great job. We had a great team, and that's really how I do things. I believe that we all have to be in it together and work together from the lowest level right up to the top. And if we're all in the same direction, things get done. So bringing that to
that's why we need people like John Sarcone running. We need candidates like John Sarcone that does things. I mean, I've seen firsthand. I was his campaign manager on his campaign, and I mean, I call him a monster. I mean, he works 7 days a week from morning till night. There isn't a train station that he didn't hit. There isn't a street, a door, knocking from morning till night. And that's what we need. We need that motivation. A lot of people after election have given up hope. What do you say?
Well, I say let's build on the successes here in New York. It was disappointing that Lee Zeldin did not become our next governor. He lost by a few percentage points when no one thought he would even have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, I lost by a very small margin, which was very disappointing to me. However, Mike Lawler won, and that was an historic victory, knocking off the DCCC chair. At 42 years, it has not happened. And we need to celebrate that. We need to celebrate that the Congress is going to change from Democrat to Republican, and that change came through New York. We had a Chairman Langworthy, who did an outstanding job going around the state for 2 years, raising the level of excitement and bringing people together. And I caught on with that.
I totally agree.
I was approached by many people after I'd left the administration in January 2021 to run for Attorney General. something that I would never consider doing on my own. After several months of soul searching and exploration, I made an announcement at state GOP meeting June 28th of 2021 that I was going to go around the state and see whether there was any support for that. I went around the state and I probably met the leadership in both the Republican Conservative Party at least 3 times in every county, and I won the nomination. I was nominated, seconded, and I decided to not accept it for the interests of party unity. There was going to be a primary, and I decided that I wasn't going to fight my own party.
Amazing.
So
Loyalty before opportunity.
Loyalty before opportunity, and my focus was on getting Lee Zeldin elected. That's really what all I cared about. So I did not want to add to any distractions that were out there already. A month later, I was asked if I would be interested in running for state Supreme Court, and I decided to do it. And as you know, I didn't just do it. I ran it like this was a strategic military operation.
It was insane. Let's just say I put 20,000 miles, I think, on my car. I mean, you did. And you did it with such heart.
I did. And, I started out in politics in 1996. I was a recent graduate from law school. I had a job as a state Supreme Court judge's law clerk in the Bronx. And while I was in law school, I was managing editor for the PACE International Law Review and also the president of the International Law Society. And at that time, there was the war that was going on in Yugoslavia. And being an international law student, I came up with an idea to do a symposium on whether or not there should be war crimes tribunal for the former Yugoslavia. I put together a panel of speakers, and I did this virtually on my own. I had Mohammed Sashabi from the Federal Republic of Bosnia, who was the UN ambassador from Bosnia at the time. I had Mo Sashabi. Petar Sarkovic was the ambassador to the United States from Croatia. I had Djorkovic, forget his first name, maybe Vladimir Djorkovic, was the representative from the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia to the United Nations. In addition, I had Dr. Roy Lee, who was a counsel to the Security Committee of the United States, and I had other distinguished speakers who were all prominent law professors. And my special lunch guest was Bianca Jagger.
Wow.
And I reached out and put this whole thing together, and it was just an enormous undertaking, and it was a huge success. But at that conference, a former congressman named Joe DioGuardi appeared, and he stirred things up. I have to tell you, he started talking about genocide in Albania and Kosovo, and really created such a ruckus. But fast forward a year, after I graduate, I get a contact by Joe DioGuardi, wants me to be his campaign manager. He's running for Congress. So I said, Joe, I know nothing about politics except to vote. He says, don't worry. I got good people with me, and we'll teach you everything you know. And those people were Roger Ailes and Arthur Finkelstein.
Wow. And
then John McLaughlin, who had just been with Finkelstein, came on board to do the campaign. And I think it was one of his first by himself. So I learned from really good people, the best, right? The best. And and Haley Barber. I used to go down to Washington, and he formed GoPac. I used to go to his lectures. In your blood,
and you didn't even know it was in your blood.
I used to go to his lectures, how to do this.
Wow.
He's like, I don't know how to do it, Joe. Okay, well, you go down to Washington. Haley Barber's got these lectures you're going to go to.
It's interesting.
I used to have Roger Ailes call me up on a Friday and ask me what was going on. I'd have to give him all the reports. Finkelstein would call on a Monday for Joe, and he'd say, did you do this? A, B, C, D. So
you were hesitant about getting involved because you knew nothing about politics, but you have such drive and passion and motivation. He knew what he was doing hiring you. That's why we need people. We don't need politicians. We need
I agree.
Heart-filled people like you.
And that's why I volunteered. I reached out to volunteer for the Trump campaign because he was not a politician. He was a man who was prepared to take on both establishments and try to stop the gridlock that is going on in Washington. I mean, it was just so bad.
It was.
And he started to do that. And I think we still have a long way to go. So I came out of my race, Ola, as you know. I'm proud of the race we ran.
I'm definitely proud. You look at the counties. You look at the counties like Dutchess County.
Yeah.
Democratic. I mean, you look at your numbers in Dutchess.
Oh, I was the highest vote getter out of 14.
Out of 14.
Yeah.
By the way, that's where I was.
Yes, that's Ola's base. I was the highest vote getter out of 14 in Putnam County.
I mean, that's amazing. I'm looking at those numbers. I mean, that's huge.
Yes. We worked hard. We did a great job. Unfortunately, we fell short here in Westchester County.
But people usually, you work so hard. And people when they lose and I don't think that I don't look at it as a loss for you because I mean, I look at your numbers and it was just barely, but they lose and they kind of disappear. You didn't disappear.
No.
You have an announcement to make.
You're
riled up.
I do. I am riled up. I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I spent 15 months traveling around the state, 62 counties, and then 5 counties for my state Supreme Court race. And I made a lot of friends, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about New York and about the Republican Party and about the great people that are there keeping it together. And we have gained so much in 2 years.
Yeah, we did. Yes.
We can't lose any ground. We need to continue to build and work on the successes that we've made in the last 2 years. So at this time on your podcast, I'm going to announce that I am seeking the nomination from the state Republican committee to be its next chairman after Chairman Langworthy steps down when he takes his oath of office in Congress.
That is amazing. That is so amazing. I'm like so excited.
I could say this, Ola. I'm not running against anybody. Okay. I've heard some good people and everybody's good. Everybody's going to be great. Whoever wants to do this is great. But what I'm offering is this. I'm offering me, my experience, my drive, my energy. And I have 4 things to accomplish. Number 1, and the first and foremost, raise money. Okay. My goal is to raise $10 million in the first 12 months. Second, make sure that we have candidates running for every single office this year, the next year election cycle. I'm talking about village, everything.
Yes.
Every single election has to be challenged. Number 3, outreach and continue to build the party, continue to grow the party, and outreach. And I'm talking about in the neighborhoods that are being decimated by the revolving door of crime. And how could those people come out and vote for a Democrat to come back? It's just mind-boggling.
Insane.
So we need to go into those communities and bring local people from those communities together and start registering people.
That's what I love about like your campaign. You're I mean, politician, but you strategize. You have a strategy. You have a game plan. And you execute very well.
Yes.
That's why we need to vote this guy in. Not only that, we need to help raise money. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in, but I want, as you know, I support conservative candidates, and to my followers, I would love and greatly appreciate if you do the same, help support my candidates. Let's help him. Let's help Mr. John raise some money so that we can change things up in New York.
Well, let's wait until I become the state GOP chairman. I confidently and firmly believe that I will raise the $10 million in the first year. And the reason why I say it in the first year is because the second year we have all our state assembly, Senate, and Congress up for election, and they're going to be raising money on their own. I want to have the war chest ready to support them, support them. I spoke to Anthony Reinhardt, the outgoing chairman from from Richmond County this morning. And Anthony told me, he said, John, if we had $100,000, we would have won that Senate race. I said, exactly. I said, so that's what I want to build on the successes that Chairman Langworthy has put on, build on the successes that Chairman Cox had put together. We can do it. And I want to be the next chair.
Oh, I
I'm willing
love
to
your
make the
positive energy.
sacrifice. I could do anything. I'm here in my law office.
Absolutely.
I've made more money in the last 2 weeks than I did in the last year. So
You raised more money than all the candidates put together. There were 14. What really frustrated me was there were 14, 7 Democrats, 7 Republicans, and you had the highest out of all the Republicans. But I mean, you could have beat the Democrats, but the fact that a few of them were endorsed by the Conservative Party is mind-boggling.
It's unfortunate that I in this election cycle, I could see when you don't have good conservative Republicans who are running that would adhere to the conservative parties, at least a few of their planks in their platform. But in this case, we had the candidates. So it's I don't understand why that is and why that happened. And it's certainly something that hopefully will be addressed in the future.
Well, I'm proud of you. Thank you so much for coming on. Never give up, never give in, don't sacrifice, and stay strong. We have to keep pushing and stay strong. God bless.
You're watching American One.